Hey you guys! So I wanted to share an altar tour today. I've been really inspired by some other altar tours that I've been seeing. Some people have been sharing their spaces, their witchy spaces, whether it's altars or other spaces. And I just really love videos like that. I just find them such a special treat. And so I wanted to give back in the same way. I know that some of us really enjoy these kinds of videos. So I'm really feeling like my altar needs a freshen up. It needs a cleanse. It's just feeling icky. I have this thing where when I share my altar, I need to redo it. Like there's something about sharing it publicly that kind of messes up the energy for me. So as I am about to change this up, I've had a couple of requests to share the altar space, so I thought I would do that today. So I did shoot a little video of this space in the dark with the candles going. So I'll insert that now so you can see. The altar's got a little bit more on it now, just a few things out of place. I've been doing some workings and things on it. And I've literally left the altar as it is. So normally I would like tidy it up a bit. I would, remove things and show you guys the edited version, if you will. But this is just what it is right now. So this is like witchy real. This is just how it is. And you can see, flowers that need to be taken off and, different spells and things that, might have finished being worked and need to be removed. Different things like that. There's stuff that needs cleaning up and finishing off. So this is where we're at. This is what my space looks like when it's been worked and lived in. Now I decide to change my altar maybe differently to other people. So some people do it by season. Some people always keep their altar the same. So they will, cleanse it, but they always keep the altar looking basically the same. Mine inevitably changes. So even if I love the setup I have, when I take everything off to cleanse it and I go, I'll put everything back in the same space, it just never happens. Like things always shift around and different things go on there and it just always ends up changing. But I do it based on just how I'm kind of feeling. Like when it feels like it needs a cleanse, then I give it a cleanse. Sometimes that is around the turn of the season, but at other times, it's just like a random midpoint or whatever. Like it's just whenever, So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to give you a full altar tour today. So this is going to be a long one. I'm going to try not to talk too lengthily about anything, but you know what I'm like. But I'm actually going to show you what I've got under the altar and in the drawers as well, because that really makes up the altar. So the actual part of my altar is over to the left of the screen right now. So where the purple cloth is, that's the altar. And then over to the right, that's where I sit and film my videos. It's kind of an extension of the altar, but not really at the same time. I don't really have magic going on there specifically at all. It's just kind of a pretty space that's an extension and it's there for videos. I didn't want to be sitting in front of my altar for videos anymore, even though you can see a small portion of it in the videos. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, I thought we'd start over on the left side and we'll work our way around. So first of all, I have my working candle here. I've shared this in other videos as well. So each time I am doing a ritual or spell work, I'll light this up. I really love using the color black for my working candle. I've used a black one for my working candle for probably 3 or 4 years now, I think. Just really works for me. Down the bottom on this little cast iron pan thing, which was handed down to me from my grandmother, so I don't know where you can purchase these. I've been asked before. It is super cool. I actually have a chalk, in magical chalk, I have an upside down pentagram. So this is a symbol for me of the horned god. So I have that there and the candle sits in the center of it. It has different carvings and things on it. It gets anointed with some special oils. And yes, then I light it each time that I'm doing stuff. Over here, I just have, this is something that needs to be cleared up that's still sitting here. This is an oil that I made with my spellcasters for one of our lives, for the live midsummer/midwinter Sabbat. So it's just a special oil that we made sitting on a card charging there. And then moving up here, you can see kind of on the side with my finger right there, I've got a cute little, it'll stick to that, what's it called? Candle snuffer. It's a really pretty one I found at a charity store years ago, and so I've got that sitting over the side there. And then here I've just got some oils and an incense that's just sort of charging on a mirror there. These are oils that I make myself. So this one is Tranquil Mind, and I'll show you close up because I really love adding botanicals in there, and I don't know, it's part of the magic really for me. So there's Tranquil Mind. This one is Fiery Wall of Protection. So this is, you know, my own blend, my own version of that particular oil. So that's one that you can find in all kinds of hoodoo books and things like that. So it's a formula that is out there. And then here I have my version of Cut and Clear oil. Now the card I have here is from the Seasons of the Witch Oracle deck, which is right here. I really, really love this deck. It's so beautiful. I'll show you some of the other cards because this is not I was really surprised when I pulled this. I love when that happens, like when you're getting to know a deck over time, there seems to be cards that come up over and over again, and then you'll pull one that you haven't pulled before. Like, I don't even remember this card being in the deck. You know, obviously it's, you know, it's number 5, it's not that, you know, but it just, yeah, it was one of those ones that really shocked me. And I've been going through a lot lately, and so this intense shadow card, yeah, it was definitely apt and woke me up to a few things, but it's so different to the rest of the deck. I wanted to show you the rest is sort of these kind of sort of willowy figures, you know, and then there's like Banshee, it's protection. It's such a beautiful deck. So I actually I was convinced to buy this deck. It was a spur of the moment purchase, but I was convinced when I saw the poetry. So each card has a little piece of poetry down the bottom here, and it was the poetry that pulled me in. So not the artwork, even though the artwork is beautiful. Yeah, it was the poetry that decided it for me. So I pull one of those usually on the day that I work with Baba Yaga. So I have a particular day for each of my deities, and usually on her day is the day that I will pull myself a new card from this particular deck. At the moment we are in winter in the southern hemisphere, so you know, it's a very appropriate deck. I did purchase this deck last year, I think it was during the autumn or winter season, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use this all year round, but I did find in summer I wasn't drawn to it at all. But then as soon as autumn came back around this year, I was like, oh my god, yes, I have to pull out that deck. So anyway, I've got that there, and I have a beautiful piece of carnelian sitting on top there. And moving a little further up, next to the Banshee, I have my little crow candle holder here, and this is a candle holder that I use for my familiar spirit. Crows and ravens, in Australia, they're very, very similar. I know in the Northern Hemisphere there is more difference between the species than there is here in Australia in terms of size and things like that, and also some habits. So anyway, crows and ravens to me, both of them are, you know, very sacred, very special, very magical. So I've got that there, and you'll actually see quite a bit of crow on the altar as we go around. And then next to that, just down right there, I have a beautiful piece of labradorite. Labradorite is a stone of magic, and I really love to have a piece, you know, somewhere on my altar. And that one's really special because that was gifted to me from a wonderful friend here on YouTube. So it's always close and it means a lot to me. Makes me feel very loved. So then I have this beautiful candelabra behind here, and some of you may recognize this if you've been watching for a long time or have watched older altar tour videos of mine. It's been a while since it's been on the altar. It's just a stunning piece that I found in an op shop, and it was quite expensive. It was one of those like curated op shops, you know, where everything is like amazing, so they just mark the price right up. But I had to have it, and I'm really glad that I did purchase it because it's given me so much joy over the years. I just adore it. So I've got some red candles in there. They're not spelled for anything. They are just for this season, and they just add beautiful, beautiful light to the altar. I light up those 3 and I can see quite well when I'm doing anything. And behind there, let's just zoom in for a sec. Behind there, down there, those little packets just there, those are some seeds that I have charging. So I've got some white clover, some white sage, and a little something else, which I'm not going to divulge, that's just there charging at the moment. And I'm going to plant those when the time is right, you know, when it comes into the right season. because right now we are in winter. It hasn't been that cold down here in Australia, all things considered, but we will eventually be getting frost, I think, for a while, so they're not quite ready to plant yet. And then next to that, the nails there are just a protection charm, also that I think I made with my spellcasters, so that's a little bit special for me, so I've got that sitting there. And then over to the side, I have some little dried roses there. So those are from my mum's garden. She gave those to me. So, you know, anything that's, you know, from my mum's garden, which was my grandma's garden as well, is always really special. So I like to keep them. Once they sort of start to fall apart, you know, if they get knocked around a bit, which often, you know, it's a working altar, it happens, then I put the bits into jars and things like that. So I've got different jars with different plants, dried plants and things like that from that particular garden, because it means a lot to me. And it's sort of it's the place that my family has lived the longest. So that means quite a lot to me because we moved around a lot when I was growing up. And even though I've lived in several different houses since living in that house, my grandmother and then my mum were there for a long time. So it's kind of that, you know, yeah, sort of ancestral land, I guess, something like that. And then I have here, I have a little sort of money working. So I've got some money oil there and a money candle working, and that's sitting on this super cool wooden, it's actually an ashtray. I turned it upside down and it's just got this, you know, beautiful wood rings there, but yeah, the other side's an ashtray. But I found that at a charity store and I was like, that is perfect. I'm always looking for little platforms and things like that. You'll notice that, like, I'm really big into texture and levels and, you know, lots of things going on. That sort of aesthetic, I guess, if you will, makes me feel really comfortable. I love warm cave-like space. I'm very kinesthetic. I am quite visual as well, but for me, the most important thing is how a space feels. So I always go for like woods and, I mean, I like the juxtaposition of like woods and metals and colors and different things, textiles, that sort of stuff, but I tend to be drawn to a lot of dark things. So I really have to keep a lookout for the colorful injections, because a lot of the things I tend to pick up from charity stores are made of wood. They're brown, and like that can just really get lost when everything's like brown on brown on brown, you know. So anyway, just as a side note, there's my decorating person talking there. And then down the front, I've just got a powder, a magical powder down there. And then I have a little bottle of Florida water here. That is the Murray and Langman. I think that's the brand. That is the bought Florida water that you can purchase that many people have, particularly in the States. I've had it imported over here and I actually buy it in a bulk lot, which makes it not too expensive, makes it sort of a reasonable price. And I do find that on eBay for anyone who's in Australia or New Zealand, I assume as well. It would probably be good for you guys too. But you can go on eBay, look up bulk Florida water, and you can find it at a decent price per bottle. There's a little tip. And then behind that here, I've just got a glass of water. So I put a fresh glass out every single day, and that particular glass is one of my grandma's. It's starting to flake and fade away, but yeah, I just like the amber glass, and you know, it was hers, so it's kind of special. And then down here, you can't really see it right now, but I have a rose quartz, and that's from that same wonderful friend. So I love having rose quartz around. Rose quartz is, I think, one of the best crystals that we can work with personally. We can always use more of the beautiful energy that it has, you know, of self-love, of opening up that heart space, and of self-nurture and all that kind of stuff. So I like having that there. I'm trying to move things around to get a good angle here. So behind the money oil to the left, I've got a cleansing oil there. So I've just lately, there's been a lot of muck going on, so I've just needed to reach for that a lot. So I've just got that out because behind there, I'll show you later, all behind in there, I've got a lot of oils and waters and things like that. So usually it's just back there, but yeah, I've pulled it further out because I've needed it. I've been reaching for it a lot more regularly. And then next to it in, there we are, that bottle right there. This is a super cool bottle. Let me show you. Check him out. So this is just a wine bottle. You will have seen one like this sitting behind me. I've got a couple of these bottles. It's quite nice wine too, fairly cheap, but I bought it obviously for the label. So isn't that amazing? Demonic Shiraz. It's so cool. Anyway, so I have some war water brewing up in there, the base of some war water anyway. There's more stuff I've got to add to it, but that's sitting there in this fabulous wine bottle. And then over here I have a beautiful shell, also that I found in a charity store, which has a few bundles of herbs in it. So I've got some sage there, some rosemary, and some sage covered in Palo Santo, apparently. They're just there, you know, anytime I want to do some smoke cleansing. And then behind there I have the Horned God section area, I guess, if you will. So down here, sitting on kind of like a cool tile thing, I've got a little gargoyle man stone thing. Found this in a charity store. That is charging up as well. I just absolutely love that. It's so cool. So it's a little gargoyle holding a key. Love him. And then I have a small glass with a bunch of crow and raven feathers in it, and that's something that I just like to keep there, you know, in his space. And the next one I have this glass candle here. So this one's just finished burning out. So again, I have a particular day that I dedicate to each of my 3 deities, as well as my ancestors have a different day. And he's just burnt out on his last day. So I'll redo that again after I have cleared off the altar, but it will be his day, not tomorrow, but the following day. So, you know, I'll just leave that until the next time and then do him up a fresh candle. Now, I did want to say, because I've had questions about this before, for my Australians and people who live elsewhere in the world besides America, these glass candles here are very cheap in the States. They're like $3 maybe. I know a bunch of you can get them cheaper than that. They're so dirt cheap and you can get them anywhere. Over here, they're not available. So I have to get these imported as well, and they are expensive. My Americans will just keel over if they knew. Honestly, if you buy one of these on its own and from a store like Amazon, okay, which is some of the cheaper places you can buy things, it's $20 for one. It's insane. So I actually find bulk lots, sometimes on eBay, sometimes through Amazon. They're the best places in terms of price that I've found them. And I can get them down to, once I got some for $13 each in a bulk lot, although 2 of them broke en route, and the seller was not very helpful, and so they actually ended up costing me $20 each, which was very annoying. But you know, you can find these deals out there. But what I'm actually planning on doing is I'm keeping all of these and I'm going to fill them with my own wax. So I've got a bit of a collection of jars now, and then I'll just be refilling them. I'll be doing them with my own wax, so I don't have to worry about that insane price. I do wish there were more available here, and you know, perhaps one day they will be, because we didn't used to be able to get them at all. So at least we can get them expensively. And it does kind of, you know, it does kind of add a specialness to the candle as well, because they're not just a quick throwaway thing. It's like they've got that energy there of like, how do I describe it? Like they really mean something, because they cost me a fair amount, you know, so there's kind of that element of that kind of magic and specialness put into them as well. So that's kind of cool. Now we've just headed back over to the left and up a little bit. Otherwise I'm going to forget about showing this section to you guys as we continue moving on. What I have at the top here is this beautiful piece of artwork. One of my spellcasters actually made this for me. And, you know, it was inspired by when I used to have purple hair. She drew it when I still had that long, beautiful purple hair, which I've since lopped off and changed colour. But I love this little witch. She means a lot to me, and, you know, the person who made it is a really sweet soul. So I like to have that there in this space. And she's holding little flowers, and she's got her little broom, and I just think she's so cute. So she's there. And then over on the left, I've got this bowl here. It's got some aventurine obelisk, is that what this is called? Surrounded by a bunch of different magical jewelry. So I'll put that on for different purposes, but that's all sitting in there. And then I've got some lavender next to it, along with a few leaves and different found things. I've got a couple of pieces of amethyst there, some roses, and that candle holder was my very first altar piece. I've shared this before, but my first altar was that candle holder and a rock. That was all. And now it's expanded to this huge space because I can have that. But in the beginning, I didn't have the space. I was in a bedroom in my husband's family's home, and I didn't have the privacy. I couldn't practice witchcraft there, so it was very, very small operation, and I just kind of pulled them forward when I was doing some magic and put them away again when I was done. You're sort of back against the books, or, you know, my other little space that I had, and I just had a little desk, and that was it. So that's how I started. You know, you don't need all of this stuff. I am very blessed that I have the space, and all of the things that you see are stuff that I have collected over years and years and years, and that I've expanded and grown into. My practice has grown into, but none of it is necessary. And you know, you can absolutely practice magic by pulling out a little candle and just doing your thing and then putting it away again. You know, you don't need all the different things. Now I will just mention, because I feel like it's the elephant in the room, this door, this bloody door. So this is actually hardware store green. I haven't painted it yet. I do have a plan for painting it now, but it has been green for over a year now because I haven't known what to do with it. But now I have this whole thing I'm going to do with it. But I'll just show you. Up on the door, this is like my, I feel like it's one of my, oh, I've got a couple actually. It's one of like 3 kitschy, witchy items that I have. And it's a little cat, and it says spell casting in progress. And I love it so much, but that's going to have to be rehomed because I'm painting the door and it's going to have like a whole scene on it. So I'll show you guys that when it gets done. It will probably be a huge project because I can be quite slow with painting. I haven't even started yet, but I've got the idea now. Okay, so down on this next level, all right, let's go left to right. I've got a little offering bowl right there. That's for Ganesha. And so I've actually got a few feijoas in there, some dried feijoas. So feijoas are like the world's best fruit. I don't know where I know they grow in New Zealand. I don't know where else they grow in the world, but they're amazing. So they're kind of like a mix between a kiwi fruit and, what did I hear? Like an apple, but I don't think that's a thing. But they're just so good, you guys. They're not super sweet, but oh, they're just amazing. I've got some of those in there for Ganesha. So I have Ganesh right next to that there. You can see the statue right there. I'm trying to use my finger, but I can't get it in shot. Anyway, so I've got Ganesha there. Ganesha is very special to me. I actually don't work with him, which is weird, as a deity. Like, he's not one of my 3 deities, but I've just found he's been around a lot. You know, I can always, I don't know, he's just always been around. So I've got actually several statues of him around my home, and he is an energy that I call upon, and he's just really awesome. So anyway, I keep some offerings in there for him. And then next to that, I have a beautiful clear quartz that you can see. So this is my clear quartz generator, and I have it there to send up and out spells. So I will pull that out when I need it, and I will put it in my spell casting space. I don't always use it, but you know, when I feel like I need that tool, I'll bring it out, and it kind of helps to take my spell out and where it needs to go. Oh, I'm just removing my jumper now because it's actually getting really warm. It was so cold in here before. It's been really chilly, but with all the candles on, oh my god, it's so hot. Woo. All right, t-shirt time. So behind that, you can see I have this beautiful bird sitting on a vessel. Now this is actually a beautiful piece that I got from a store called Ishka, but what I keep in there is petition papers. So they're always sitting there on the altar, and when I need them, I pull them out. I just want to give you guys a little hint. So I like to use the paper bag method. I like to use paper bags for petitions, but I have found if you guys do purchase stuff from Amazon, the paper that they package with is perfect for petitions. It burns really well, it rips really nicely, it holds ink well. It's really, really fantastic. It's just brown craft paper, right? But you know, if you're getting packages in, it's always good to think about how we can reuse this kind of stuff. And the paper makes really, really excellent petition paper, just saying. Then next to that, I have some white roses. These are also from my mother's garden. She gave me those as well, and they dried really beautifully, those ones. You can see they look absolutely gorgeous. And then I've just got a little fake pillar candle, a battery operated pillar candle next to that, just for them extra light. I love having light around, so I have that there. And then a beautiful, almost fossilized shell, which I've had on a lot of my altars before as well, that I have over there. And then I have this gorgeous witchy postcard up there. Isn't that cute? So it says, for ways that are dark, hang on, let me see. I can't read very well back there. For ways that are dark and tricks that are vain, look out, Halloween time. It was just these little witchy postcards that I found on eBay forever ago that I was wanting to use to send to friends, and it was just a whole pack of different ones, but this is one that I particularly liked in there, so I've just got that sitting up there. Now I've just swung you around the back to have a look at this spot because I can't really show you in the front. I'll have to pull out the other bits for you to see, but I've got different waters and things in here. So I've got some Four Thieves vinegar. I've got in here some storm water. That's right. Sorry, I was like, hang on a second, that's not moon water. Why would I put moon water in an apple cider vinegar jar? Storm water. I do have some moon water behind, sorry, that's ocean water. This is moon water from a specific moon. I've got a larger lot of moon water over by my other altar. And then in here I just have you know, the little squeezy oil things, whatever they're called, in a little skull jar thing. Some more Four Thieves vinegar in there. And then I have some clove oil. So this is literally just cloves in oil, and that's kind of like a base oil that I'll put into other oils. I have some black cat oil there, which needs shaking up. I actually use charcoal in my black cat oil, so it just needs to be shaken up to go completely black. Love black cat oil. That's another one that you can find online. This is my own recipe, of course, but there are many different versions out there, and there's a bunch on YouTube as well if that's something you're interested in having a look at because the name intrigues you. And then here I've got some different sprays, so some different cleansing sprays for different purposes. I've got a little bit of Chinese wash here. This is something you might have heard about if you're into hoodoo, and that is from Lucky Mojo as well. Smells divine, can I just say. I just like keeping that in this spot here, even though it is for cleaning. And then over here I have a little bit of Rose of Jericho water, so that there. And then some oleander oil here, which I use for protection. So that is oleander leaves steeped in oil. And then this is super old, you guys, but it's still good. This is my Witch's Winter Mist by Earthly Alchemy, literally from years ago, but it still smells perfectly fine. And it's got only a tiny bit left, but I just use it so sparingly because it's such a gorgeous scent, and they don't sell it anymore. They might sell it again, I don't know, but I just absolutely love it. Alright, and then over in the back I've got my big batch of oleander oil there, and then I've got a few different things here. So I've got some salts in there, there are some spell powders, and there is one incense as well. There's some high incense powder, so to draw in really high vibe spirits. So that one is frankincense, myrrh, and benzoin, I believe. So those three resins together, and just draws in really high vibe spirits, and I just love that one. So I'm going to take you around the other side. We'll pull out my little thing and I'll show you some oils. Alright, so this is another cool little charity store find. I'm telling you guys, most of my awesome pieces are things that I found at charity stores. You can always find the best stuff. I love treasure hunting at charity stores. Alright, so in here we have a little bit of lightning bolt. This is actually a magical tincture that was made by a beautiful woman named KV. And this is a little magic potion, if you will, to help when things are going, when something very sort of traumatic has kind of happened, like when a real hit has come. This is what this is for, to kind of help through that. And then she's given a mantra as well to kind of help with that whole thing. Here I have some moon incense. This is some of my favorite incense, you guys. Oh my god, so delicious. So the base of this incense, or what it's based on, I should say, is a recipe from one of Scott Cunningham's books, Incense, Oils and Brews. So if you go in there, you'll see moon incense. I have changed it up a little bit and added a few different things, but oh my god, so amazing, so amazing. It's like, yeah, it's delicious. And then in here I've got a little bit of road opening oil. So this is one that I specifically charged with my ancestors, so it kind of has a different vibe. I've got a couple of different sort of road openers and each have their own sort of vibe. In here I have some courage oil, I call it. Hang on, let me show you. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Some courage oil in there, and that is sort of charged with energy of Leo as well. Although this is specifically, it's coming apart, Leo oil in there. So whenever I need that like beautiful Leo energy, that is there. My sun, moon and Mercury are all in Leo, but sometimes I have a lot of trouble kind of stepping into the healthy version of Leo and letting myself shine and all that kind of stuff. So I've got some Leo oil. And then in here, this is just Four Thieves vinegar as well. And then here I've just got some road open oil from Juniper Moon Apothecary. This one smells amazing. So this is an Australian store, Juniper Moon, and yeah, her oils are just beautiful. And then here I've just got some, what's left of a little bit of Domination oil there. And then in here is a love oil. This is my love oil. It's got lots of beautiful things in there. You can see I like a lot of herbals in my oils. Yeah, I just, you know, herbs, curios, that kind of stuff. To me, that's what really holds the energy. Some people don't add much, if any, botanical into their oil. They prefer to use essential oils, and that will make them last longer, but it's, I don't know, I've got to have botanicals in mine. I like having essential oils as well, but botanicals is always a really big part of it. And here I've got another Earthly Alchemy thing, because I love Earthly Alchemy. This is Dark Forest perfume oil. This is beautiful. I bought this ages ago as well. This stuff lasts really well, you guys. You can see I'm like on the last dregs and I'm just holding on. I'm terrible like that. Are you guys like that? Like kind of hoarderish, where you just like won't use the last of the thing because you want to keep the thing, but then you're not using the thing anyway, so what's the point? In here I've got some Prosperity oil. This was from Crimson Fyre. And here I've got... Ooh, little bit of fluff. I've got a beautiful witch oil. This is the same thing again. This was made by Maria of Crowhaven Hollow. You can find her on Etsy, and it's just such a gorgeous oil, and I've used it so sparingly over the years, but still good, you know. A lot of people are like, oils will only last a year or 6 months or whatever. I call bullshit. I've never had an oil go rancid yet, and like some of them don't even have properties in them that will make them last longer. So if you add essential oil, that will make them last longer. If you add vitamin E oil, that will make them last longer. Some of them don't have that, and like they've lasted years. So I don't know. This one's coming apart as well, but that is Success oil in there. Crown of Success, not Crown of Success actually, that's a different one, but that's Success oil. And then here is just a little healing oil.